அங்க கேட்கல. Hello, good evening, guys. A quick audio check before we start. Were you able to hear me? If so, kindly drop a text in the chat box so that we can proceed. Yeah, good evening, guys. Thank you for your response. Thanks, Gokul. I guess people are joining now. Let's wait for another 2 to 3 minutes of time and then we'll start the session. Okay, before we start, maybe you can drop a text in the chat box saying that you're from which college, which year you're in, all those things you can drop it over there. So you know what is the topic of this particular session, like how to land AA jobs. So we are broadly going to discuss how to land AA jobs in this particular session. So until then, you can drop your name, college, which department, which year you're studying in, and how are you have you started preparing for your placements. You are focusing on software development or AI related like machine learning, all the stuffs. You can drop those in the comment section. I'll quickly answer those. Great. I've got people from many colleges, out of which one Gokul from Vaishnava College. Currently, you're in second year. Maybe, okay, this is a perfect time where you can start your preparation for your placements. Great. Others? Okay. So with respect to software, like IT jobs, we have n numbers of domains which is available over there. Out of which one particular domain, or which is like a trend of the day, we can say that is nothing but AI jobs. Okay. And here we are going to see what is the roadmap on preparing for AI and what are the tips to crack AI jobs and what are all the ways to get into AI jobs. Those things we'll discuss in this particular session. And along with this, some certifications related to AI and all those things will be discussed. Okay. Okay. Let's start again. So once again, I welcome everyone for this particular session on how to land AI jobs. So there are few things which we have to keep in mind before starting your preparations or before starting your attending the interviews. So before attending interviews, obviously everyone would have prepared of certain amount, and then they'll be going for interviews. So whenever you're going for interviews, what are things you have to uh, keep in your mind, things to keep in your mind, and before which, how to attend those interviews, how to find certain jobs, how to pick, which is like job positions which is related to AI, how to select all those things we'll discuss in this particular session. The first thing which we can say is something, but what are all the recommendations I can give for job seekers on how to stand out? For example, you are attending a job which is related to AI. We can say it is data scientist, data analyst. There are a numbers of roles in AI. All those roles I have mentioned in the upcoming slide that we'll discuss in the session. So before which, what is our recommendation to uh, stand out in a large crowd? For example, let us assume there are some 500 applicants applicable for a position called data scientist in a reputed company. So out of that, how can you stand out in a crowd? So what are all the ways you can make it in this particular interview? So first and foremost thing is the thing, but you have to stand unique in the crowd. That is one thing which we have to keep in mind. So everyone used to say you have to be unique in the particular crowd. That is what everyone say. How to make yourself as a unique person in that 500 large crowd. That is one a mantra we can say. If you are getting that, obviously you can get a job uh, in a reputed company on what are the domains you are working in. So people are struggling in how to find out in a way that I can be unique in the large crowd. So to showcase yourself as an individual that you are fit for that particular job, how can you do that? That can be done very easily, showing out what are all the projects you have done. Obviously, whenever you're going for a job, you would have done your college final year projects, mini projects when you're being in the third year. These are all things which have to be mandatory, where people are not aware of doing mini projects whenever they are in the third years. So what they'll feel is, on my final year, like in my final year, I'll complete a final project. Let me showcase those projects in my interview. So that is one wrong thing which people have in their mind. Whenever you're in your third year, you have to start doing mini projects, internships. So those things will help you to attend the interviews, and that will be an additional benefit when you go for your interview. So when I say you have to be unique in your interview, that time these internships will help you, saying that I have done my internship in Microsoft for a period of 2 to 3 months. That is one big thing where you can showcase it to the recruiters when compared with other job applicants. That you have to keep in your mind. Just one name I'm going to use Microsoft. There are a number of companies where you can do internships. Okay, which is nothing but you have to do internships in a reputed company. Not some people usually do their internships because some colleges make it as mandatory. So because of that sake, they'll be doing internships for 2 to 3 months in a company. That will never ever add additional advantage for you when you go for interviews. So keep in mind, during a third year, you have to do internships in a reputed company. And during those internships, what did you learn from the company? So the learning which you have got from the company should be narrated to the interviewer. So that is how will be different. So for example, if 500 candidates are applying for the job interview, obviously some 300 to 400 people would have not done interviews. 100 people would have done interviews. Now, from that 100, how can you make yourself as a unique person? Next thing, experience what you have gained from that internship, narrating it to the interviewer. So I was working on a product called so and so. So in this, my what is my role in that? What did you learn from that? Because you are being a fresher. Maybe experienced person will have certain experience on the particular domain. If you are being a fresher, you can say that these are all the learnings I have got from that particular internships that you should explain very clearly to the people. Okay, and there are a few companies which will be giving internship certificates, and actually Microsoft also offers virtual internship certificates to the students. So regarding the Microsoft virtual internship certification, I'll discuss at the end of this particular session. So at the end of the session, I'm going to discuss how you can obtain certificates from Microsoft freely, which is signed by the top management of Microsoft. That can be either Satya Nadella, whomever it may be. That one certification which is free of cost. The certifications you can do it on a free of cost. So Microsoft certification comes in two ways. One, you have to pay for certification around some $100 and you can write the certification. Another one is Microsoft also offers free certifications for people as well. That, and third thing is that Microsoft also offers virtual internship for students. So think about it. Before going for a company, saying I have done Microsoft virtual internship in Microsoft for a period of 2 to 3 months. So that is really a great thing, right? So that also how to work on those things. What are all the curriculum which they have? How to work on that? That I'll clearly I'll clearly mention in the end of the session. So that one thing. So let's come back to the topic where we have stopped. So the point is you have to explain about your internship and the experience which you have got from that particular internships. So that is one thing you have to see. Next, whenever you are doing some projects, you can mention it very clearly. For example, I told you, right, out of 500, some 100 people would have done the internships. Now, from those 100, how can I, what is it, differentiate from those 100? It's very simple. Instead of saying, I have done a website, that is one common term usually people used to say. I have done a website for so and so. That's all. That was my project. Instead of saying that, you can mention in a way that I have done a project where, which is something like I have done a website where the traffic for that particular website is nearly some, what is it, 10K in a month. So that you can mention. So based on the project what you have done, in that what was the highlight of those projects, something would have been there. For example, to make you to understand this, we can clearly say that I have done People saying I'll be YouTuber. Okay, instead of saying I am a YouTuber, I can say I am a YouTuber who have 1000k followers. So instead of saying I am a YouTuber, saying I have a 100k followers or 1000k followers, which is really a great thing. So this is how you have to explain it to the candidates. I mean, interviews, whenever you go for the interviews, especially when you're explaining about your projects. So this I have done. Because of this, I have got this benefit from this particular project. That benefits you have to showcase it to the interviewer. That is major thing where people are not doing whenever they go for their interviews. So generally saying how to stand out from the crowd. That is everyone used to say this, how to stand out from the crowd. So the question itself is how to stand out. What are the ways to stand out from the crowd? So these are all the ways where we can stand out from a large crowd. Next, in your resume, okay, most of the people would have mentioned saying that uh, they'll be mentioning some 10 to 15 topics as their area of interest. So that is one huge mistake people usually do whenever they go for your interviews. So which is nothing but they would have learned C language in their first semester or Python in their first semester. What they do is they'll mention Python as their area of interest. Some people will know how to write hello world. So that doesn't mean that you are really good in Python, right? So that is one common mistake usually people make. So what you have to do is, if you're not aware of certain topics, please don't mention it in the resume. Don't mention it. So top three domains which you are familiarized with, please mention all those things in your resume. Apart from that, don't mention anything else. So that is one thing which you have to keep in your mind whenever you go for interviews. Okay, some people mention C, C++, Java, Python, HTML, CSS, JS, React, Angular, everything will mention because that was in their curriculum. So it doesn't mean that you are all strong in those areas. There are few domains which will be really strong. Mention those things around. Okay, and one more thing, some people will be mentioning that I'm a strong coder, but they'll be going for a testing job. How come that is going to help you when you're being a good developer when you're applying for a testing job? Similarly, whenever you're trying to apply for a data scientist, you'll be mentioning I'm really a good software developer. So those things you have to mention, that they'll be mentioning their career objective. So what is the job role you're going for? Based on that, your resume has to be changed, career objective should be changed, area of interest has to be changed, your projects what you have done, that has to be changed, everything has to be mentioned crisp and clear. Okay, that is first thing which you have to keep in our mind during the job checking point of time. Next one. Okay, what are all the typical positions the role of AI? So what are the positions do they have? So first and the foremost position about AI we can say is machine learning engineering. Everyone will have a question. What is machine learning engineering? So machine learning engineering is nothing but to make it short, we can say that it is something we call it a software developer, right? So SDE, software development engineer. Similar to that, we call it as machine learning engineer in AI. In the domain of AI, we can say it. So what usually they'll do is they'll build infrastructures or data pipelines. Majorly what they do, they'll build infrastructures and pipelines or build something related to machine learning models. That is the main purpose. So what is the purpose of software developer? They'll develop a software. Similar to that, they'll be doing all these stuff with respect to machine learning. And next level we can say is machine learning practitioner or researcher. That one thing we can say. And the third term which we are being heard of it, the common term we can say in AI, which is data scientist. Okay, people are getting confused with data scientist and data analytics. So data scientists are nothing but the people those are going to work more on data oriented, but still they have to use statistics or machine learning. So those comes under data scientist. Data analytics in the sense they'll be having a bunch of data with themselves. They have to figure it out what can be done from this particular data. So they'll be having huge data. So in those huge data, what can be done? Something has to be done from those data, right? That is a job role which defines data analytics. Okay. And obviously the last one, the recent thing which is happening is prompt engineering. That helps. And next to which other two job roles also there. So what are the other two job roles in the sense? data quality assurance. So what is data quality assurance? So when we go for a developer, we have two roles, major two roles: developer, tester. Okay, similar to developer and tester in AI also, these things which comes under the developing kind of stage. Next one, when we say testing rate, similar to that we have data quality assurance, which is similar like software testing role, that we call it as data quality assurance. And the next one is nothing but annotations engineering. So what is the meaning of annotation engineering? In the sense, they'll be focusing more on the data and the data quality. So what is the data they have? What are the qualities of data they have? So to focusing more on that, they'll be going for this particular role called annotation engineering. When I compare these roles with software, we can say that this is a coding kind of job. This is a non-coding kind of job. So that's why I have differentiated with these two. And next, what are all the roadmaps to prepare for AI? Okay, so when you are aiming for jobs which is related to AI, machine learning, deep learning, all this stuff, at that point of time, how can I start my preparation? Okay, what are the topics I have to prepare? So that I have to keep in my mind, right? So first and the foremost concept is basic concepts, maths and programming. So basic concepts in the sense like basic coding. So when you go for basic coding, you have to pick the programming language. So Python is one opt language if you are entering into AI. Okay, so most of the people will not choose the programming languages during their college days. They'll say that I want to be a data scientist, but they'll be learning C++ and Java. So how come C++ and Java is going to help you if you want to be a data scientist or data analyst? No, right? So you yourself has to pick initial. If you're being a second year, if you're aiming for data scientist, you have to work strongly in Python language. Okay, so and before which you have to know the basic concepts, maths and programming. So maths, obviously, algebra, linear algebra, regressions, statistics, calculus, probabilities. So these are all the areas you have to be really strong on it. Okay, and when I go for programming, obviously you have to know the fundamentals of Python. So fundamentals of Python in sense how to get input values, operators, decision making, looping, list, all those things you have to keep in mind. And next to that, what we can say, data structures and algorithms. So why do we need data structures and algorithms? So data structures and algorithms helps us to write the code in an optimized manner. So that is one particular reason uh, we need to work on data structures and algorithms as well. So this is basics. I can say that the first 3 months you can spend time on these areas. So when I say a roadmap, we should know how long we have to work on this, right? So first 3 months you can broadly work on these areas. Okay, I have split everything in 3 months duration, which is like for a year how to prepare AI. If you're being the second year, so second year to third year completely you can focus. This is my roadmap on preparation. But when I say 3 months, you have to learn in depth of it. Each and everything has to be learned in depth of it. So first 3 months I have done. I have mastered in these areas. What should I do the next 3 months? Learning about AI and machine learning. So basics of AI, intermediate, machine learning. All those topics you have to work on it. Next, in the 6 months, what I have to do is I have to work majorly on what is it? Specializations. Now I know basics. I need to be a specialized one in this thing. So how can I work on it? So that just give me a minute. Okay. So specialization. So neural networks, deep learning, machine learning, all those things. And in the 9 months, you'll be familiarized with AI. Okay. Finally, we have to do certifications. Okay, so what is the purpose of doing certifications? So that showcase that you are master in that particular domain. So that is the purpose. We have to do certification, so specialization and certification. So there are many people who offer certification in natural language processing, computer visions, and reinforcement learning. So we can say that I have been mastered in AI. So to showcase that you are mastered in AI, you have to do these certification. Not only these certifications, there are a number of certifications. So these are all the major certifications which you have to do. So to work on these certifications, there is a company called Microsoft who offers free certification as well as paid certification. How to get that paid certification? What are all the ways? That link I'll mention in the upcoming things, or by the end of after the session gets over, those links will be available in the description of this particular video. You can find it over there. Next, how to prepare on it. So there is one basic website where you can start your preparation. This is one thing I can suggest, but please don't depend on this one particular website. You can go for conduct some competitions with respect to AI. So you can participate in all those things. So for example, this is a page where we'll be learning leading to. Here you can click on the competitions. Okay, so here they have quoted all these competitions. So some competitions are for knowledge based, some are like they'll give gift hampers, cash prizes, everything will be given. So here what they'll do is active competition. So active competition in the sense, like, this is a competition which is going to happen in a month, and 707 teams have been registered in it. So this is a competition which is of $60,000. 1,365 teams have been registered in this competition, which is going to happen in 2 months, and some ongoing events will be there. Okay, so ongoing events, it will be mentioned like this: ongoing. So this is nothing but just for your knowledge. This is not going to have any cash prizes or any rewards. Nothing is going to be happen. These are all ongoing competitions which you can participate. This is one thing. Okay, so on AI. So how to focus on it? This you can go for it. The topics: basic programming, Python, machine learning, the libraries, Python libraries, NumPy, Pandas, plots, all those you can go for it. Then this is the basics, 3 months. Then you have to go for intermediate machine learning, visualization, and obviously if you're working on data, you should know SQL. So introduction to SQL, advanced SQL, then deep learning. Then I mentioned, right, computer vision. So computer vision. So all those things they have mentioned here. So these things you can learn also. But there are n numbers of learning platforms. The reason why I suggested you is a thing, but you can go for these competitions. That helps us to enter into this. Let's go back to this. So this is the roadmap broadly we can see. And next to it, when to reach the hiring managers. That is one thing, right? We have to know. And we can say how to reach the hiring managers. So when to reach, obviously, if you have mastered in these areas, the domains, you can start reaching to the hiring managers. So without, what is it? Having proper knowledge, reaching hiring managers will not be fruitful. So there is no use of reaching the hiring managers. You should know when to reach the hiring managers. Before reaching hiring managers, you should be really strong in that particular domain. Okay, that you have to know. So when you are reaching what is it, hiring managers, you have to do at least some 2 to 3 projects. So without project, reaching hiring managers is of no use at all, because you will not be mastered in this particular domain, right? So you have to do at least some 2 to 3 projects. So doing the projects, that will be really helpful for you. Okay, now I'm really strong in all those areas. Now I'm going to reach the hiring managers. How can I reach the hiring managers? That one question obviously everyone will have. So there are multiple ways of reaching hiring managers. One efficient way to reach hiring managers are LinkedIn. Through LinkedIn, you can connect with them. Okay, there are few hiring managers where they'll be mentioning as hiring in their profile. Okay, if they are hiring, please go into the profile, see what is the job role they are hiring it. If it is related to this, obviously send a connection request, drop a message, and then build a connection, and then you can send your resume. Then you can they'll be calling for interviews, and those things happens. That is one thing. Okay, directly uh, contacting the hiring managers through LinkedIn. That is one thing. That is one such options we have here. Next, so whenever you are contacting them, don't give hi. Like for example, if a person names is hi, like Ram, like hi Ram, don't do that. So what you have to do is, You can say that I have seen your post. You are hiring for this particular job role. I hope I'll be fit for this role. So instead of mentioning all those things, you should mention why do you fit that role. What are the skill sets you have to fit that role? Instead of saying I will be fit for this particular role, so you can interview me. Instead of saying this, what are the skill set you have, so that you can say that I will be fit for this role. Okay, that you have to mention it. I have these skills, I have done these certifications, because of that I find this a suitable role for me, that we can mention. Okay, and then after dropping, wait for the response, or you can just give a gentle reminder once. Please don't pester them by dropping 100 messages. Keep on daily, everyone will be saying good morning, any update. So that will really pester people. So mention 3 points. Why do you feel that you'll be suitable for this job? Or you can say, how can you stand out from the crowd? Because you'll be hiring a number of people. Out of those, how can you stand out from the large crowd? That point you can mention, then leave it. If they really find you are suitable for that, they'll be calling you for sure. Please don't pester them by dropping text daily or torture them. That most of the people usually do that. Okay, and then reaching out other people also, not only recruiters. Reaching out, what is it, managerial level people, or lead, a team lead. So reaching those people also will be helpful for you to get hired. Okay, just have a connection request with them, and then check if any job roles are available. You can let me know. That you can do. That is one way. Or if you are finding any job roles in their company's career page, you can state that I have seen this in the company's career page, so I feel that this is the reason I would be what is it, I'll be really fit for this job. So can you refer me? That kind of things you can give. Instead of it, I have done my engineering, I want a job, so can you please refer me? That is one way to have a connection request. So LinkedIn is one strong professional network which we have in today's world. So use it efficiently. Okay, so that we can do it. So have strong connections. That is why we people send connection request to everyone. Okay, and next one, tips for job seekers, those who are facing repeated rejections. Okay, this is one thing people always say, I'll be keep on getting rejected, I don't know what is the mistake I'm making. So instead of saying I'm getting rejected, what is the mistake I'm making, instead of saying this, you need to figure it out. What is the mistake you're making? That you have to figure it out. Okay, so first thing I can say is, if your interview is not, I mean, if your resume is not being selected for the interview, the first and foremost thing is you're making a mistake in your resume. So contact someone. You should make an attractive resume, then you can send it to people. Many people will say, I have applied for nearly some 20 jobs. Out of those 20, none of them have been called back, because they don't find that you will be fit for the job through your resume. So your resume is not up to that level. So that is the first thing you have to keep in your mind. So because of your resume, you will be rejected. They might feel that you will be not fit for this job. So that you have to work on it. Okay, work strongly on your resume. Second one, check with your friends or mentors why you are getting rejected. For example, my resume is being selected. I'll be going for the interviews. When I go for the interviews, I'm getting rejected. I don't know why. So at that point of time, your resume, everything is fine. They are having a strong feeling that you will be fit for this job, and they are calling you for the interviews. But when they are interviewing you, you are lacking in something. Okay, because of that you're not getting job offers. So how can I find out what I'm lagging in? That you can get it through your friends. You can talk to your friends. This is what happened in the interview, I don't know what is the mistake which I've done, I want to correct myself. Have a good or healthy conversation with your friends and rectify your mistakes. That is one thing. Next, what you can do is get feedbacks at the end of the interviews. Don't get feedback at the middle of the interview. After asking one question, don't say things like how was my performance. Don't ask in that way. Finally, they'll say that's all. They will have any questions or something. They'll say when you're about to leave, at that point of time, you can ask, sir, can you give me some feedback over the interview? What are the things or areas which you feel that I have to improve? All those things you can ask. So that is one thing, because there are many interviews usually give feedbacks so that they can improve. Okay, feedbacks should be taken in a positive manner. That is one thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, many people will say, how can they give feedback on this, like this, that? So don't do all these things. Take feedbacks in a positive manner. that you have to do it. And next to which, uh, get connected with industry people and know why you are getting rejected. Because the reason why we are saying to get connected with industry people is that they'll be recruiting more number of candidates. They know what they're looking for, and they can easily find out what you are lacking in, so they can give easy tips for you. So just get connected with industry people and get to know what are the things you are lacking in. So how can I find out what I'm lacking in? Have a mock interview with those people. Instead of going direct interviews, have a mock interview with 2 to 3 people who are working in the industry. They'll give tips, work on those feedbacks, they'll give feedbacks, work on those feedbacks strongly, then go for the interviews. And next, make proper strategy. So what are the strategies I have to go for? So do the strategies well, make a proper strategy, and then go for the interviews. So this is the tips I can say those who are facing repeated rejections. Next, what are the resources that may help me to prepare AI interviews and certifications? And some companies are calling you for interviews also. Okay, how can I go for those interviews? So before going for interviews, you should be really strong in those domain. And to be strong in those domain, you should be having some certification. So those things we'll see. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the session, Microsoft offers certification as well on AI, and virtual career fair also, and virtual internships also they do. So that we'll see one by one. So first let's talk about Azure AI. Okay, this is one such program where Microsoft usually give. Just give me a minute. Okay, this we call it as FRT. I have the link here. Okay, future ready talent. This is the virtual career fair. I'll talk it at the last. Fine. So this one, okay, I have to sign in. Just give me a minute. Okay, the link is futurereadytalent.in. Okay, so if you are completing all these course in this, and if you are submitting your project, and if your project is okay with it, they'll be offering a virtual internship certificate from Microsoft. That this was the thing which I mentioned in the beginning, right? So what are all the courses do they have? So here they have 3 courses: fundamentals, advanced, GitHub. Obviously, GitHub is one essential thing which you have to do. So you can do this GitHub also. And fundamentals. In the fundamentals, what they do offer, what are they offering? So the offerings are Azure fundamentals A is at 900, Azure AI fundamentals. So obviously, if you are aiming for AI, obviously this course will help you. So this is completely free. Anyone can sign up, anyone can learn it. There is no paid thing for these courses and all. So anyone can get registered on this particular website. They can start learn from this particular website, and they can get certified also. So the certification how to get, I'll just tell it to you. So you can learn this. So to get virtual internship from Microsoft, you have to complete all these 3 courses. So we are being partnered with Microsoft for this, and we are offering these courses. So this is fundamentals. If you are aiming only for AI, you can do this certificate. No, I want to have a virtual internship with Microsoft. If you feel that, you have to complete all these courses. So in advance, the courses they are offering are Microsoft Administrator, Azure Developer, Azure Security Technologies, Microsoft Power BI, that is Data Analyst, Azure AI Engineer Associate. Obviously, I would say this is one more role which you have to focus on, because when you are looking for AI Data Analyst, obviously that comes into the picture, right? You can do these certifications. So if you want to do individual certification also, this can be done. But keep in mind, if you are aiming for Microsoft virtual internship, you have to complete all these 3 courses. You have to complete all these courses. After that, you have to submit a project at the end. Once after submitting your project, if your project is okay, they'll be giving you the Microsoft virtual internship certificate. Great. And finally, the GitHub courses. So these are the GitHub courses. GitHub is basic thing, right? So these are the GitHub courses. You can do it, and after that, you can submit your projects. So industry sessions also will be happening. Finally, you have to submit your project. So you can go to this link, futurereadytalent.in. After that, you can go for registering in this website. Then user profile you have to create, start learning the courses. Industry sessions they'll be mentioning. So if there is any industry session which is going to happen, all these things will be mentioning here. Okay. So these are the previous sessions which they had. So all those things you can watch it. Maybe if you have missed the session, you can watch it at the end. After that, finally you have to submit your projects here. So once after submitting the project, if your project is okay, so there is a team where they'll be verifying your project. If your project is fine, they'll be taking you for the they'll be offering you the virtual internship. This is one thing where Microsoft offers. This is completely free. This is not a paid one. Great. This is the first resource which will help you. Second one is doing certifications. I have mentioned, right? Microsoft offers free certifications as well as paid certification, right? That I'll tell you. Obviously, yeah, this is the thing. Okay, so Microsoft applied skills. So here, if you click browse applied skills, okay, so these links will mention in the description of this video. So when you go for this, they offer free certifications. Okay, if you want, you can choose what domain you are planning to work. Okay, so this data analyst role you are aiming for, if you're or data scientist role if you're aiming for, so you can see what are all the certifications which is related to data analyst, so data scientist. So this you can do it for free. Okay, I'm looking for something called data scientist. That is what we have seen here. Data engineer. These you can do. No, I'm aiming for AI engineer. These are all the certifications available. Okay, so this is completely free. These certifications you can do it for free. There is no paid. So for example, I have done few certifications and I have done this free certification as well as paid certification also. But as a student, if you feel like first I want to give a try on the free certification, you can give a try on this. So I have done a certificate on natural language processing. I told you, right, in the roadmap. So finally you have to work on roadmap, build AI vision. So I have done on many things. So out of which two I have mentioned here, like how the certificate will be obtained here. So you can click on this. Okay, I have completed the certificate. So what the learning modules they'll be mentioning here, you can give take assessment, start assessment. It will take you to the assessment page. Already I've done my certificate, so it will show the results. That's it. So you can click there, you can find it. So here you can see what is your credentials. So you can see your credentials. So the certification which I've done. So view all. I have done so many certifications, out of which this I want to see what is the certificate. So here they'll be mentioning Microsoft, the name. So these are the area which I have worked on. So the day which I've got, and it was signed by Satya Nadella. So this showcasing in your resume will be a huge thing. I can say I can stand from the large crowd. I cannot say everyone would have done this certification. So this you can do. This is completely on free. This is not a paid one or something else. This is completely free certifications Microsoft are offering. But whenever you're doing certification, you should pick what is the role you are going to go for. For that, you have to do the certifications. Just blindly doing certification will never ever help. This you can add it to your LinkedIn. That will be an additional advantage because many recruiters will see your profile in LinkedIn. That also they look for it. So you can put it in your resume. The credentials you can put it in that. This is one way where we can obtain certifications. Okay, and next one, they also offer paid certifications. I mentioned, right? Let's go back to the landing page. Okay, so before this, this is the page where we'll be coming. Okay, yeah, applied skills. Now Microsoft certifications, they have clearly mentioned Microsoft certification. This is like applied skills. Okay, now let's go back to certifications, browse certification. This is nothing but paid certifications. I told, right, so they'll be taking some $900, sorry, $99, not 900, $99 or $100, $150. So that they'll mention. So the learning modules they'll give. If you want to get paid for a certificate, you have to pay. See, it's $165. Microsoft exam for it. 102. Microsoft 365 administrator. This is one thing. So they have n numbers of certifications. There is a paid certifications also. So Azure administrator, Azure AI fundamentals. So those are going for AI. This will help. AI engineer associate will be help. You can just click the roles. So I want to be a data engineer or data scientist. So which certificates will be helpful for me? So this you can go for it. Once after completing, you can give add. That will be added here. So these are all the certifications they offer. And the last one, I have got few certifications. Now, will these certifications help me to land into a job? Yes, of course, that helps you to land into a job. That is the last thing which I have given. See, Microsoft Learn Career Connected Virtual Career Fair. So, which is going to happen on March 20 to 22. So, if you want, you can register here. So, in this link, you can see why you have to attend. They have mentioned about us. They have mentioned, and what is the eligibility criteria. So, you should be 18 plus, permanent resident of India, pre-final year or final year, or you have graduated after 2015. So if you are in any one of these, you will be eligible for this job fair, and you have a valid Microsoft certification. This I told you, right? Paid certification. This or credentials, applied skills, what I mentioned. So if you have any one of these, you can check the list of eligible certificates and credentials here. That will be an additional benefit. So you can click here, you can see it. What are the certifications they have mentioned here? Okay, so this, if you zoom it, you can figure it out. Either certifications or the applied skills, what they have mentioned over there. So that if we have any one of these, obviously you can go for it. Okay, Azure AI Engineer, Azure AI Fundamentals, which you have seen there, right? Okay, that will help you. So you can search in this and you can figure it out whether it is going to match anything or not. Then you can apply this. Where these are all the companies which is going to come, exhibitors. Who are all the companies who is available in the job fair? CGI, Foundit, Hexaware, Quandra, TVS Next, so the n numbers of companies, and the other companies they have mentioned. So partner registers, all those things they'll mention here. Then how to register here? You can click this link, register, and you can fill these details. Okay, so your LinkedIn profile, and if you have done any certificates, Microsoft Learn transcript URL, this applied skill certificate, free certificate, right, that you can mention, or if you have done any paid certificate, that also you can mention. Both are okay with it. And if you have done future ready talent program, I told you, right, they'll offer virtual internship, the complete program, if you have done, yes or no. So here, if you have done yes, as I said earlier, additional benefit. So if 1,000 people are applying, some only 30 people have been completed the Microsoft future ready talent program. Obviously they'll be given the first preference. Okay, then finally you can register here, and they'll be sending you the details in your mail, that you can go for it. These are all the things which we can get benefited from Microsoft. Okay, finally we are in the end of the sessions, and all those things we have discussed. If you have any questions regarding this, you can post your questions in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer all your questions. And the links which I opened from this, I have mentioned all those things in the description. You can find it out over there. LAM, of course, seeking internship also goes the same way. So job, internship, both, which is going to be happening in the same way. And just I've taken Microsoft as an example. So not only Microsoft offers all these AI jobs. So many companies, you have seen this, the job fair they mentioned, right? Many companies offer jobs which is related to AI. Okay, because today's world AI is one thing which is broadly into the picture. So if you have any other questions, you can post it. I'll be happy to answer all your questions. Okay, so guys, like if anyone is preparing for placements, and if you want to have what is it, uh, more, if you want to have more idea, if you want to have some tips, or if you want to gain more knowledge on placements, on how to land AI jobs, all those things, we have given a Google form in the chat box, in the comment section. You can fill over there, and we'll be helping you on it. Yeah. So we'll go for another 2 more minutes. If you have any other questions, you can post your question. Broadly, I've answered all your questions. Great. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you all. Have a great day. Thank you.